Welcome to Wise and Well. Today, we really need to talk about your eyes. We often think of vision loss as just something that happens as we get older, right? Like gray hair. But what if I told you that you might actually be hitting the fast forward button on that process? What if some of those completely innocent little habits you do every single day are causing actual physical trauma to your eyeballs?
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by understanding how our eyes are really under attack. Then, we'll get into the four big ones: the risk of rubbing your eyes, the huge mistakes so many of us make with sunglasses, the danger of using screens in the dark, and a little bonus on the eye drop trap you need to avoid. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a simple action plan to protect your sight.
All right, let's set the stage. Your eyes are incredible. They're so resilient, but they're also unbelievably delicate. We hear words like cataracts or glaucoma, and we think, well, that's just a part of aging. But the truth is, our own behaviors might be the very thing that's speeding up the clock.
So this is a big question you have to ask yourself. Are the things I'm doing without even a second thought, things that feel totally harmless, are they actually damaging my cornea? Are they stressing out my optic nerve? Well, the answer, unfortunately, is very often yes.
Now, I want you to look at this phrase, physical trauma. That sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? Because it is. We're not talking about some subtle, slow decline here. We're talking about actions that directly, physically harm the structure of your eyes. So let's jump into the first and maybe the most common culprit.
Habit number 1, rubbing your eyes. Come on, we all do it. When you're tired, when your allergies are acting up, it feels so good, right? That little bit of pressure is so satisfying. And there's a reason for that. When you press on your eyeballs, it actually stimulates something called the vagus nerve, which can slow down your heart rate and make you feel less stressed. But here's the catch. While it feels good for a moment, the reality of what's happening is a physical disaster. Let's talk about the cornea. That's the clear protective dome at the very front of your eye. Every time you rub, you are physically pushing on it, distorting it, and over time, that pressure can do some serious damage.
In fact, rubbing your eyes too hard, too often can lead to a condition called keratoconus. This is where the cornea literally thins out and starts to bulge into a cone shape. And here's the really scary part. This causes a kind of blurry, distorted vision that glasses can't fix. And even if it starts when you're younger, the damage just keeps adding up over the years.
And it's not just what's happening inside the eye. That skin around your eyes, it is the thinnest, most delicate skin on your entire body. So when you grind your knuckles in there, you're breaking all the tiny fragile blood vessels right under the surface. This is a direct cause of those dark circles and puffy bags that make us look exhausted.
But of all the risks, this one is the most alarming, especially if you have or are at risk for glaucoma. See, glaucoma is all about high pressure inside the eye. And get this, studies have shown that rubbing your eyes can make that internal pressure spike by up to 10 times the normal level. For an optic nerve that's already compromised, that pressure spike is like hitting it with a hammer.
So what do? The good news is the solution is easy. If your eyes are itchy, don't rub them. Grab a cold compress or just a washcloth soaked in cold water and lay it over your closed eyes. The cold will soothe everything without any of that dangerous pressure. You can also use good old lubricating eye drops. The main thing is, just keep your knuckles away from your face. All right, let's get to habit number 2. This one's a silent danger, and it's skipping your sunglasses, especially on cloudy days. We tend to think sunglasses are just for a bright, sunny day at the beach. But leaving them at home the rest of the year is a huge mistake. That invisible UV radiation, it cuts right through the clouds. And this might actually surprise you. The sun in the winter can be even worse for your eyes. Why? Because if there's snow on the ground, it acts like a giant mirror, reflecting 80% of the sun's UV rays right back up at you. So you're getting a double dose of radiation, one from the sky and another from the ground.
So why does all this matter? Well, because all that exposure to UV light year after year is directly linked to some of the most serious eye conditions out there. It speeds up cataracts, it contributes to macular degeneration, and it can even cause this thing called pterygium, which is a fleshy growth that can literally grow over your cornea.
This is such a powerful way to understand what's happening. Think of UV light as literally cooking the proteins inside the lens of your eye. You know how an egg white goes from clear to solid white in a hot pan? That's what's happening inside your eye. The proteins get cloudy and opaque, and they block the light from getting through.
The fix here is all about making it a habit. Just add sunglasses to your keys, wallet, phone checklist every time you leave the house. But, and this is important,
Make sure they actually work. The label has to say UV 400 or 100% UV protection. It doesn't matter how dark they are, it's the invisible coating that does the work. And hey, if you want an upgrade, polarized lenses are fantastic for cutting glare.
Okay, on to habit number 3. This is a truly modern problem, and I think we are all guilty of it. I call it vampire mode. You know the drill. You get into bed, you turn off all the lights, and then you pick up your bright phone and start scrolling in a pitch-black room. Oh, this is so bad for your eyes.
So here's the science. Normally, you blink about 15 to 20 times a minute. And blinking is how your eye spreads a fresh layer of tears to keep everything moist and healthy. But when we stare at a screen, our blink rate just plummets. We're talking a 60% drop. We just kind of forget to blink.
And when you stop blinking, that protective layer of tears just evaporates right off your eyeball. This is what's known as evaporative dry eye. It's what gives you that gritty, sandy, red-eyed feeling. And it gets even worse after 50, because our eyes are already naturally getting drier. It's not just uncomfortable, it can actually lead to scratches on your cornea.
Now, for daytime screen use, there's a fantastic little trick called the 20-20-20 rule. It's so simple. Every 20 minutes you're staring at a screen, you just take a 20-second break and look at something that's about 20 feet away. It forces your eyes to relax and helps you remember to blink.
But at night, the rules are different. First, just try setting a digital curfew. Put the screens away an hour before bed. But look, if you absolutely have to use your phone, please just turn on a lamp. Never, ever look at a bright screen in a pitch-black room. And make sure you turn on your phone's night mode or eye comfort shield to cut down on that harsh blue light.
All that screen time can lead to those dry, red eyes, which brings us to our bonus tip. And it's a really common mistake. I call it the eye drop trap. You wake up, your eyes are red, you run to the pharmacy, and you grab a bottle that says it'll get the red out.
But you have to know the difference. Those Redness Relief drops, they're basically a cosmetic fix. They contain drugs that shrink the blood vessels in your eyes to make them look white. The problem is, when the drug wears off, the blood vessels can swell back up even bigger than before. It's called the rebound effect, and it just makes you need more drops. What you really want are artificial tears. They don't have those drugs. They just lubricate and moisturize your eyes, which is the real solution.
Whew. Okay, we've covered a lot. So now let's boil it all down into a super simple, memorable action plan that you can start using literally today to protect your vision.
Here it is, your 4-point plan. Number 1, stop rubbing your eyes, use a cold compress. Number 2, wear proper sunglasses every single day, all year. Number 3, turn on the lights, no more screens in the dark. And number 4, hydrate, don't medicate. Use lubricating artificial tears, not the redness removers.
At the end of the day, this is why all of this matters so much. Your vision really is the window to your life. It's how you see the world, how you read a book, and most importantly, how you see the faces of the people you love. You've got to treat your eyes with care. After all, they are the only pair you're ever going to get.